Hi, I'm Betsy with Pasco County Libraries, and I'm so happy to welcome you to Recipes Between Friends. Today we'll be cracking open our favorite cookbook created by the Friends of the Library and showing you how to make a delicious dish at home. Today we'll be making black bean hummus. This dish takes about 15 minutes and serves 8. The ingredients you'll need are 1 clove of garlic, a 15-ounce can of black beans, drained and reserve the liquid, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, 1½ tablespoons of tahini, 3/4 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. All set? All right, let's get cooking. Okay, I think we're gonna get started. So we've talked about the black bean hummus a few times during the process from when I first started doing budget bites and switched to book bites, and I don't know, somehow it kept coming up in conversation. So we chose to do that thus for the last hurrah, so to speak. But also, once we finish the black bean, then we're gonna make just a regular hummus too. So that way you'll kind of be exposed to both, and then there's plenty of snacks to go with it, and we'll be able to just eat and chillax and enjoy our last book bites together. I know I'm gonna miss you guys. So it's very simple, and probably it would take you 15, maybe 20 minutes to put this together. I mean, it is a very, very quick recipe. So you use an entire can of black beans. You drain the beans, but you reserve the liquid because we will be adding some liquid into here. So don't get rid of that. And then a clove of garlic, which I already have here, ready to roll.
It's not on the thing. The garlic, yes it is. Okay, it's right.
Yep. And then we've got 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. I always use fresh squeezed lemon juice. I'm sure you could use the lemon juice concentrate if you choose to, but I don't know. To me, that doesn't quite taste the same, but you know, it's all in what your preference is. And then there are 2 tablespoons of tahini.
Is that liquid or is that
It's a little liquidy, and every time I bought tahini, it's been a little bit different consistency. I usually keep mine at home in the refrigerator. This has not been refrigerated yet because I just opened it.
Does it come in a jar?
So it comes, I've had it in a can, I've had it in a jar.
Is that in one a squeeze thing?
There's a squeezable one now, yes. And it's sesame seed paste, okay? So a lot of times, one thing you'll need to be really careful to do is stir it up very well before you begin using it, because it will separate and the oil will be on the top. So you need to make sure you get it all stirred up really good together. And then we're going to add our spices. We've got cumin, salt, and a little bit of cayenne pepper. Okay? It does have a little bit of a bite to it, but not so bad that I don't think it'll scare you guys off. Not after the Cajun sausage and vegetables. If you did that, you can do this. Okay, and then we've got the 2 tablespoons of reserve liquid from the beans.
Okay, so that's what you put in is 2 tablespoons?
Yep. And it's down in the instructions. And you can kind of do that by, sometimes it just depends, I think, on the beans, and I don't know exactly maybe what brand you're using. Sometimes it will seem very, very thick. You can always add a little bit more bean juice to it if you feel like it's too thick, okay? And then you get to the loud part where we're gonna mix it all up. And it's funny too, depending on the beans you use, because I made a batch up this morning and I used a different brand of beans. And I mean, it doesn't really affect the taste, but the color is a little bit different. And so it just depends. on what you're using. So if you use 2 different brands and it comes out looking a little different in each one, don't panic or anything. That's perfectly normal. Okay, and voila, we have black bean hummus. See, I mean, it's so quick, so easy. You know, makes a great snack. If, you know, and you can eat it with carrots or whatever, you know, for a little diet snack, if that's what you're looking for. I did not get bowls to put it in. Thank you, Brenda.
I have a question about the garlic thing, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, garlic comes with other little pieces.
1 clove.
So you're not using all the little pieces, you're just gonna take one?
Right,
little
just one of those little pieces is a clove. Now what I use, you can buy pre-minced garlic in a jar.
That's what I did, but
Okay, half a teaspoon of that equals 1 clove of garlic. A lot of people serve black bean hummus and it's very different. I find it to be very different, mainly because I will not eat the other kind.
have you ever made the chocolate one that they sell?
I have not. I have, Publix has it.
I'm not a hummus person and not
I have heard that it's an acquired taste, but
it's good, it's really.
but I don't, I got a sample of it once and I actually brought it to work for,
Well, they have 2 different brands and it's not the regular brand of the Boar's Head. The Boar's Head, it's gonna be the Boar's Head brand of chocolate.
I think it was Boar's Head I got when I went in Publix one day. They were giving away little sample size containers of it. So, but used to with the tahini, and what I was going to tell you, you always had to buy it in a fairly large container. And I think mainly due because of its increasing popularity, you know, more and more people are getting into this kind of stuff and probably using it for other stuff than tahini. You can buy it in smaller containers now, which is very nice because I don't know that I've ever used a full container of it. And it can, at times, be a little bit pricey. Just, you know, kind of depends. If you're lucky enough to catch it on sale, you're great.
Find tahini in the dairy section or on the shelf?
Along with peanut butter. Can you rinse that off for me? Because I'm going to use that for the other one. Thank you, Brenda. Appreciate my trusty assistant, Brenda, helping me out. Okay. And now on to the next one. If I can figure out how to get this off since it is not mine. How do you get the lid off? Oh, here we go. Thank you. So this one I have not made. But you'll notice at the bottom, there's different flavor options. So that way, you know, if you're not just a big fan of plain, you might decide that you want to try one of these other ones. I really thought the jalapeno cilantro one sounded very intriguing. That I would probably like. I just ran out of time I was gonna, you know, make it all and I didn't. So the ingredients are a little bit different. So we've got 2 tablespoons of olive oil that go in it. And we do have the lemon juice, 1/4 cup of lemon juice. And 1/4 cup of tahini. This brand is a little more liquidy than what I have used in the past, and I really like it better. It's a little easier to work with because it can be very pasty sometimes. And then we have our clove of garlic here. And like I said, we just use that pre-minced that you buy in a jar. Makes your life so much easier because trying to mince garlic and it's sticky. And then your seasonings, just cumin and salt. And I do have some bean liquid if, in fact, it looks a little thick. Thank you. I was just getting ready to do that. Food processors come with very short cords. So, we'll see if I can get this on. I had a quick lesson before. Ta-da! And then this has to go a certain way. Hers is much fancier than mine is. Mine is just plain Jane, but it does the job. Okay, here we go. Oh, I think it looks very dry. Yes, we will definitely be adding some more liquid to it because that looks, can y'all see it?
Yeah.
Looks very pasty, doesn't it? Can y'all see? Do I need to go this way?
No, down.
This way.
Towards you,
Yeah.
then you can see it.
It's very, yeah, and I can't get all the way to the middle. Sorry. It's very, it looks like a ball of dough, and that's not how it should look. So we are going with some more bean juice.
And that's out of the chickpeas, right?
Yes. It's probably going to take a little more, although it is starting to loosen it up some, which is nice. What we look like in here. I think probably a little bit more. There wasn't enough left to keep. You know, that's the way I do. I do the same thing with salt. Oh, that looks like enough. Okay, I think it looks like hummus. Take that out. I feel like a child having my first time in the kitchen. Okay. Interesting. I'm sure it will be very good. It's very creamy now that we added all that extra juice.
I guess I'm surprised you still needed to add some liquid because of the olive oil and the lemon juice.
Yeah, it just, I guess the chickpeas just, but you know, in the black bean hummus, well, you don't put oil in it, but it calls for extra juice right off the bat. So,
Yeah.
and with the black beans, it's, how do I get this off of here? It doesn't come off.
It does too.
So, the black beans, like when you go to drain those, the juice is very, very thick in black beans. So I think that there's probably still some liquid left in there, even when you've set it in the strainer and let it drain on its own for a while. So that's part of the difference. Whereas when I came in to set up the table today, I had drained the chickpeas just a little bit earlier, and they looked dry. I mean, not like dried out, but like they didn't have a lot of extra juice on the surface or anything. So I think that's probably one of the differences. But I think it would be great to do the jalapeno cilantro, and basically you just throw that in and mix it on up, and you could do it to taste, because with the jalapeno you'd want to be very careful unless, you know. So I'm anxious to hear what you guys think. Make it pretty. It's always a great time to get cooking at the Regency Fresh Test Kitchen. Be sure to stop by your favorite Pasco County Library branch to purchase your own copy of Recipes Between Friends. The cookbooks are only $10 and all of the proceeds support library programs and events. We appreciate your support and hope to see you soon.